And then let's see what we can figure out by looking at your file. Let me share my screen. I'll share Safari. It's education portal. Oh, no, it's not sharing the right screen. Share this screen. Share. All right. So if we run the reports, and I think when I was in here, I added these, right? I added these stars so you can find all the reports quickly. I failed to add trial balance though. So if you hit a star, it makes it up here in your favorites. It's just a little hack, I guess. Let's go to February.
I think I added the trial balance in there. I don't know why it's not showing.
In where?
In the list at the start. I think I already had done that. But if it doesn't show, probably I didn't do it.
I don't know. Well, it's there if it wasn't. But I'm not seeing the discrepancy since I fixed it.
Okay.
But we could go to chart of accounts.
So how do you fix that? Can you do the...
So what I did was, oh wait. Yeah. So it's no longer there. The report does not contain any data. If I remember correctly, I went to your January reconciliation. Yeah. And I undid your January reconciliation because I think I had to delete and redo the check that you had. I believe it was this check, this bill payment.
Yeah.
Because there was a typo. I think it was like $5 off or something. So it wasn't able to reconcile. So what I did was I deleted it, I changed it, and then saved this. But when I did that, what it did was threw off your reconciliation. So I had to reconcile January for you. And then I reconciled February as well. And Tino Lopez.
Okay.
Odd.
So how do you do the reconciliation? Because I was looking for the way to undo the reconciliation and do it again and fix it.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't find it.
So here, if you go into, you can go to reconcile, and then it says last statement ending date. You can go to that, and it gives you the report. And this is the reconciliation report. And then you can go to history by account, or you can go to chart of accounts, bank register, and then history by account. And it gives you this list of reconciled reports. And like I said, I did this. When did I do this? Yesterday? Or did you do this yesterday?
I didn't. No, I haven't checked that.
Maybe I did it. I might have done it because I thought I did this Tuesday night, but it may have merged into Wednesday morning. But here you can come undo and just hit undo, and it says, are you sure you want to undo reconciliation with 29 transactions? I'm going to hit yes, and then hit undo, and then we'll go in and reconcile it again. and highlight that change that I made, or, well, it wasn't really the change, but February PDF. Let me share my screen showing February's information. Stop share, share the entire screen. I'll move this over here. So here we have our bank statement. We have the ending balance as 227-2061, ending date 22. Start reconciling. Resume reconciliation. Don't show this again. And then I usually do all the deposits at once. So I have the 71. Oh, right there. 71, 90, 1269, 71, 60, 69, 41, 60, and 28, which are these three, I'm guessing, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have our February, which is 30, 31, 42, 13, 17, 20, 750, 4,500, 178, 20, 1241, 2105, 34, 35, 243, 3185, 2752, 31, 44, 234.15, 3500, 930.60. And then we have this expense, and I just want to highlight this for a lot of people. They forget to make this entry because we have these banking fees right here, and it's not something that shows up above. The only time you see it is in the reconciliation. So there's bank feed. So we need to put it in.
Okay.
Either you put it in or I put it in. One of us put it in, but it's there. So with that, we can hit that, and we're still off by this amount. What is this amount? Why?
Bank fees are asked.
Oh, it's right here. Sorry, what was that?
So the bank fees are asked when you start the reconciliation. Is that the one you're talking about, the $21?
Yep. Is that, says here's the banking statement. Please reconcile the checking account. But there's no other like memo or document that's talking about the $21. It only shows up here, banking fees. So you need to, when you do the reconciliation, you're usually off by this $21, and then that's when you can come in here and hit an expense, and then add the Canyonlands First National, and then put in the information and $21.
Okay.
You want to leave without savings? Yes.
The way that I have it is when I start the reconciliation, it says it has like a space for bank fees, and I add those $21 in there, and it shows it in the list.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So down here, right here?
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
In that space, there is a place for the fees. So I just add the $21 in there. Is that the right way?
Yep. That's perfect. So when you put it in, and it will create that same entry. So it shows it a different way, but it will create that entry for you and show it there. So that's perfect.
Okay.
I want to exit out of that. But yeah. So I think it was just the 2119 was, it was just typo, or the 20,000 or 2019. I think it was a typo for 2014 in your file.
Okay.
And I just had to come in here, correct this. It threw off your reconciliations previously, so I had to undo it and then redo it with the correct amounts.
Okay, thank you.
That's trying to look, and these are, all these are uncleared, which is fine. These ones are uncleared check payments, which is fine. We cut the check, but they're not in sales receipt, which is fine. Yeah. So I think that answers your question, whether it was a question or not. I don't know, but it answers what you brought up.
Yeah, that was a question. Yes.
Piece.
For that first part, thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, when I was doing the March paperwork, I noticed that every time I do a credit memo, it kind of makes a payment on the invoice or an invoice, and then but the payment does it with the current date, so it's like an automatic thing. So it was throwing me off numbers.
Yeah, so
how do I fix that? How do I, is that just that QuickBooks does it whenever I make a credit memo? So I did the credit memo, and I thought if I received the payment, I could apply that credit memo to an invoice, but it didn't. It just applied itself, but it did it with the date I was doing it. Like today, it was doing that with today's date, not with the date of the payment.
Right.
So I just realized when I was checking on the list of received payments, and I noticed that the off dates. I'm like, what happened?
Well, you should be able to edit your credit memos.
Yeah, I did edit them when I noticed, but it might have happened before.
Well, yeah, so not so much that you should be able to change it before you save the credit memo. So if we're on a, let's see, customer here, and we have a customer, and we go here and we say credit memo, pops up, you can change this date.
Yes, I do change that date. I have that date correct. So the credit memo's date is correct. But if I check on received payments, it has a payment with today's date for the amount of the credit memo.
Oh, so I think, let's see if your settings, have you messed with your settings at all?
No, just when it tells me to, but I haven't done anything in there.
Yeah, so we have automatically apply credits and automatically apply bill payments. So this is something, I thought someone brought it up earlier. It might have been a separate class. And if it is, I apologize to the class. But if this is checked on, it automatically puts those credits onto outstanding payments. And for me, it messes me up.
Yeah.
So what I would prefer is to actually turn that off and turn this bill payments off as well. So you manually do it and you manually handle it. So you can match the payments to the invoices and match the credit memos to the invoices as well.
Okay, yes, I think that's better because it does mess me up when I try to make the payment, receive the payment, it just, I can't find the credit to apply it to it.
Yeah, because it automatically applies it somewhere without you knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
invoice that I don't want. Sometimes it applies it to the older's invoice, and that credit is not for that invoice. So
right.
it just things up.
Yeah, so that's so for everyone else who's watching the video, you go to accounting and settings, you go to advanced, and then here in advanced you have automations, and then there's this little pencil, and you can check this or toggle the switch. And here also you can start playing with these other options, but I want to change them. I should make a note to myself for future classes to always make sure everyone's set up correctly before we start, because that throws off people every time.
Yes.
And I thought I mentioned it, but I probably mentioned it in the previous class. And I apologize for that. Yeah, but now, once you create the credit memo, you'll be able to and receive a payment. So I don't know there's no outstanding. But when you receive a payment, you can apply, or you can check the box for which one you want to do.
Okay.
So you have this amount received, you have an invoice, and then you can have a credit down here.
Right. Yeah.
All on one payment.
Sometimes that's the thing, that I don't know how I was doing things, but sometimes it showed and sometimes it didn't. And I thought I was doing it with the same steps, but I don't know. I was kind of confused. And
yeah.
I also
and
realized that when I checked on this paid, underpaid, and says one payment made, sometimes it showed 2 or 3 payments in there. And I checked those and it had the wrong dates, which also confused me.
Yeah, because the system's basically saying,
yeah,
it's saying, well, this got paid with this, but then you create a credit memo, and that credit memo automatically went with a new date, the date you're working, because you create the credit memo with that date, and that automatically gets applied to one of these older ones, and everything gets kind of messed up like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the memo on this shows created. I can't make it bigger.
So it does make a payment when every time you create a memo, it creates a payment like automatically.
Not anymore. That's what it was doing.
Okay. So it's not going to do it anymore. I don't have to double check.
It's not going to do it anymore. And we can. So this is this. So this payment, we have this invoice, this payment. What's the difference? Is it the 109?
It should be.
480 minus 109.60. Yeah, so it's these two. So let me take a screenshot of this and I'll walk you through exactly how it should look, but I don't want to lose your data. And I don't want to pull up the PDF. So I'm going to pull this up, preview, and walk through. So I'm going to actually delete this payment. So I'm going to delete your March activity for a second.
Okay.
Delete this as well. And delete this discount. So we have this one invoice that is overdue, right?
Yes.
However, that one invoice, we got a credit memo of 2%. So the 109.60. So I'm going to come in here and say a credit memo for Johnson, email. The date was the 26th of March. And products and service, cash discount, And you had a description of a 2% discount in your previous ones. So I'll do that. 109.60. We have that credit memo, blah, 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 blah. Save and close. So now we have this 5,480. We have this unapplied credit memo. And now we can receive a payment.
Mm-hmm.
And it automatically puts that payment for the 5,370.40 because it's taken the total amount of the invoice,
okay,
plus the credit memo, all in one payment. So the record is all connected.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was hoping to see, but I was never able to connect those two. It was just the amount. It confused me.
Yeah, and that's because QuickBooks created it. It says created by QuickBooks Online to link credits to charges. And it automatically did that every time. Every time you created a credit memo, QuickBooks did it automatically, which throws you off, obviously. And it threw me off too. But yeah, so it tries to be smart, but it isn't smart.
Sometimes that doesn't help.
Yeah, but I'm glad you brought that up because that's a issue that I saw with a lot of people, that it came up, and as I was correcting things, some people had that same issue, and I had to go in and clean this up for them and go forward. So now we have a zero balance there again because it's all paid up to date.
Right. Now I was thinking, since the discounts are kind of activated, because it for this month it says it gives to the universities, it gives you a 10% discount. So we had to activate that in settings, the discount thing. So should we do that every time there is a 2% discount, like go through in the invoice and do the 2% discount, or should we still do the credit memo? It the same thing, or like does that go to the same account, this cash discount, or how does that work?
I think it's a little different, and that's for March, right? You're looking at? So let's pull up what it says in March to review for the class, what you're talking about. Let me share the entire screen. So here it says to set up discounts, right? Sales discounts.
Yes.
Tower offers discounts to colleges and universities. All universities receive a 10% discount. These discounts are called sales discounts in the practice. So you said you set that up, you went to the gear icon, you went to accounts and settings, you went to sales, you click the pencil icon, click discount to be activated. Where is that? Discounts on.
Discounts
right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's should be saved. So this is Wasatch Outerwear. That's us, but to universities.
I think the second paper is that where it comes to the first, with the first discount, that one.
This one? Oh, USVU.
Yeah. So at the
comments or instruction.
Discount.
So this is the invoice. And you have a discount percentage and you put it there. So that's what I would do. My view just went crazy, weird, actual size. Now the question is, when you did that, let's go to the P&L for March. and see where it landed. Discounts given. And here in, so that's what automatically does, discounts given. And this says sales discount.
Okay, so it does go to a different account then.
Cash discount. Yes. And this discounts given, you can change that in your chart of accounts, but it's not going to be a huge issue just because this is an automatic account that gets created.
Okay.
And you can change that if you want to match exactly what the PDF says. 47.95 sales discount. Oh wait, what's this? 47.95 cancel. 47.95 sales discount. So we've already created that account, but the system created the account here.
Yeah. It did the same for me on the, I think it was on the sales or something. It told me to create an XX something account. And on my reports, that's the account that is coming up, not the one that is coming up in the PDF. And I tried to change it, but it doesn't let me. That one account, it doesn't give me the option to change it on the items on the, I don't remember where, but
and that's fine. And this says the system will create this discount account, advanced chart of accounts discount account.
Also, that's in account settings.
Yeah, so when you turn this on, it created that account for you.
Okay.
So when we had you create the chart of accounts and created that first discount account right here.
Yes.
This is useless. And we can actually make that inactive if we want. And edit this. To match the account number 47.95 and 47.95 sales discounts. And this, I don't was saying everyone has to do this, but this is save. Is that too many? Yeah, that's too many. Because it pushes the account there anyways, so save. So now when we pull up our reports, it's going to show it like exactly like the PDF shows right there. So okay. No, so what you did was perfect. You turned it on, you issued the invoice for the customer, the USVU book, and you used the field for the discount percentage, and it went to that new sales discount account. And that's different than the credit memos and the cash discount.
Okay.
So that's perfect.
Okay. So every time they say credit memo, we should create the credit memo instead of going in to do the discount on the invoice.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's going to code it to a different account. Okay. And I kind of wanted to go through this. You probably know all these, but a lot of this for a purchase order, this is someone trying to buy it from us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this would be, we create an invoice.
Invoice, yes.
For purchase orders. That's another purchase order. Company memo, we're trying 2 new SKUs. We're creating 2 new products. there. Order memo, this is us purchasing something. So it would be a bill when you say order memo. And again, you probably know this, but some people on the video or watching the video might not know what to do when they see different things, because it's not the same in QuickBooks. Payment memo.
Yes. I am using at work the desktop QuickBooks, and for customers, I can do purchase orders for customers, but on here on online, I can't. It doesn't give me the option to do purchase orders. So I was kind of confused at the beginning because of the names, but yeah. Yeah,
and you can do purchase orders here, but you don't need purchase orders. And this will be a test question eventually when the tests come up, but a purchase order doesn't create anything on the GL. So if you come to a purchase order and do a purchase order, on our side, we're sending a purchase order out. But in the documents, like here it says purchase order, but this is coming from someone else to us that we're fulfilling. So it's kind of backwards in what you're seeing in QuickBooks and what you see in the PDF. And you really have to be aware of who is the vendor and who it's getting sent to.
Yes.
And I think in QuickBooks Desktop, it's the same thing. You can create purchase orders if you're buying it from somebody. You create a purchase order, you send it out. They say, okay, here's the bill. You can transition that purchase order to a bill. The bill is there until we receive the products. And then once we receive the products, you can pay that bill and using pay bills.
Right.
And that's processes, but yeah.
Okay.
Order memo is us. Yeah, so, but we don't have to do purchase orders on our side. We just have to create a bill, pay the bill. Yeah. And then payment memos, this is just an expense. You go in and write an expense or a check. Again, a purchase order, this is coming to us. So we're actually supplying. So this will be created invoice to customers. Did you have something else? I feel like I cut you off there, Magna.
No.
Okay. Cash sales memo. So this is a sales receipt, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the discount in there. Purchase order, again. We receiving that, we're invoicing Simpson Specialty, so it's a customer of ours. Same thing here. Order memo, that's us buying something, so we're doing a bill. Cash sales memo, it's customer. Payment memo, this is us doing an expense or a check. Either one works. This is a check, so now that we've issued invoices to our customers, we receive payments. And there's please apply to invoice 3-1. So that's an open invoice. If it has a credit, if they're paying early or they're using the 210 net 30 or whatever discount they're doing, we have to create a credit memo. Order memo, again, that's us paying. So a bill. These order memos are bills. Company memo. We're creating SKUs here. Pay AP, taking any discounts allowed.
Now that one, it says take a discount. And I checked the dates and it will have a discount, but in the amount, it doesn't show the discount. So I did it for the amount without taking the discount, but I'm not sure if I should, since it has the note in there. Because that one is dated on March 3rd. It has 10 days, I think, and it's being paid on the 13th. So I'm not sure if it should, if it does have the discount or not. Like, according to me, it does, but the amount doesn't show the discount.
Right. So here's the order memo of 7790, and then we paid 7790, and we paid March 13th. But we took March 5th, and it's, where is the discount?
It doesn't, in the orders memos, it doesn't say anything about discount. So I don't know if.
Yeah, and maybe, I'm not sure if Comway actually gives us a discount. So some vendors give us discounts, some vendors don't, maybe. Well, I know that's a fact, but I don't know for Comway if that's the case. And it looks like they don't give us any kind of discount unless they explicitly say they give us a discount.
Right.
Like for this 210 net 30, we show that discount. They don't show any discount.
Yeah, it doesn't say, but I don't know. Since it says in the note, it got me confused. Maybe it's a tricky question.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is trying to trick you, trying to throw you off. But here it doesn't give you a discount either.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Yeah, and since the payment memo is for that full price, I would just pay the full price without taking the discounts.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I did. But that was one of my questions too.
Yeah, so we've gone through most of it. If it's a check, if it's an expense, if it's a receive payment, invoice, bills, sales receipt, journal entry for the payroll. We want to do journal entries for these payroll memos. And we do the payrolls, and then we'll either cut checks or we do just the payroll journal entry, but have separate line items for each person in their net pay.
Yeah.
For bank reconciliation purposes. And then make sure to reconcile everything. It'll help you catch a lot of things.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Yeah, I just want to go through that with more on the video than anything to anyone who's watching to understand what equals what. Whatever it says here equals whatever. Yeah. And I should probably just write that in the announcements to help people out, but I haven't yet. That's something I should do, and I will. All right. Do you have any questions, Magda? Just me and you here.
No, I think that's everything that I have for today. Thank you.
All right. Awesome blossom. Well, I'll end the video, upload this, and yeah, make some announcements. Hopefully that helps other people as well.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.